So the domain is going to be all the x values that you're allowed to put into this function right here.
All the
Right.
x values.
Right, all the x values. But the problem is that there's going to be some values that you cannot put into this function. For instance, those values that make this denominator 0, you don't want those part of the domain because division by 0 would be undefined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the denominator and set this equal to 0 and find out which numbers make the denominator 0. So I'm going to factor this. So I need two numbers multiplied together that's going to give me a negative 30, but when you add those two numbers together, it gives you a negative 7.
Negative 7.
So it's 3 and 10.
Oh yeah, 3 and 10.
This has to be negative 10. This one's positive 3. So then what you're going to do is take each factor and set it equal to 0. And solve each one.
Negative 3 and 10.
Okay, so these two numbers are not part of the domain because those two numbers, if you were to substitute either one of those in for x down here, it would be 0 in the denominator, and division by 0 is undefined. So the domain of this function is everything else. So from negative infinity to the smaller one, union from negative 3 to 10, union from 10 to infinity. So that is the domain of this function.
Okay.
Now we use parentheses like this because it does not include this number. If we were to use a square bracket, that does include. Okay? So that's it. That's the domain of that function.
Okay, see, so I just have to solve